to a chilling episode where we delve deep into the shadows of criminal history. Today, we're taking a look at some of the most notorious serial killers active just a decade ago. Stay tuned as we explore their twisted crimes, the lives they ruined, and the hunt for justice that eventually brought them down. They walked among us, hiding in plain sight. Ordinary people, living seemingly normal lives, while behind closed doors, they were carrying out unimaginable horrors. Today, we dive deep into the chilling stories of serial killers active just a decade ago, whose crimes shocked the world. Stay tuned as we unravel how these monsters were caught, and the terrifying truth behind their twisted motives. Our first case takes us to the Deep South, South Carolina, where a real estate agent's sickening crimes went unnoticed for years, hidden beneath the facade of a seemingly ordinary man. His name was Todd Kohlhepp, and his journey into infamy began in 2003, but it wasn't until 2016 that authorities began to uncover the truth. Kohlhepp was not your typical serial killer. For years, he lived a quiet life, running his business and earning a strange reputation online for writing reviews of knives and chainsaws. Highly disturbing, considering the brutal acts he would eventually be linked to. His killing spree began in the early 2000s, but it wasn't until 2016 that his crimes were finally exposed, after one of his victims, Collar Brown, was found alive, chained on his property. This horrific discovery led authorities to uncover a web of murders, with Todd admitting to killing 7 people over the course of more than a decade. As chilling as his actions were, it's perhaps the fact that no one knew who he was, and that he was hiding in plain sight, that makes this case particularly terrifying. Our next case brings us to Ohio, where in 2016, Shawn Great's reign of terror came to an end. Great, a convicted rapist, had already served time for previous crimes, yet it wasn't until a young woman managed to escape his clutches and dial 911 that the full extent of his gruesome murders came to light. Shawn Great had been murdering women for years, often luring them under the guise of offering a place to stay. He admitted to taking the lives of at least 5 women, though it's believed there could be more. With cold indifference, Great would leave his victims' bodies abandoned, showing no remorse or emotion, only a clear desire for control and dominance. What makes this case even more chilling is that Great's killings spanned across small, rural towns where no one expected a monster to emerge. He was arrested in 2016 after his surviving victim helped police track him down. Great's arrest ended years of terror, and while his story may be over, the scars of his crimes remain. Now, let's travel overseas to the UK, where a shocking case unfolded between 2015 and 2016. This one hit closer to home for many because the killer wasn't some unknown monster lurking in the shadows. She wore a nurse's uniform and worked with newborns. Her name? Lucy Letby. Letby was working as a neonatal nurse when she began to kill 7 babies and attempt to kill 6 others. Using her position in a hospital to get close to her victims, Letby's method was disturbingly subtle. She would inject air into babies' bloodstream, leading to their horrific deaths. It wasn't until parents began to notice the strange deaths at the Countess of Chester Hospital that suspicions mounted. In 2017, an investigation was launched, only for it to take years. Before Letby was arrested in 2020, the trial took place in 2023, where she was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment for her twisted actions. This case remains one of the most horrific breaches of trust imaginable. And there you have it, cases where the nightmare lasted for years before justice was finally served. Kohlhepp, Great, and Letby each managed to manipulate the world around them in chilling ways, conjuring evil behind masks of normalcy, but eventually, their actions were exposed. These killers prove a painful truth. Serial murder didn't die out in the 20th century. It's still very much a part of today's world. But as these cases show, no matter how well hidden the monster, they cannot escape forever. Thank you for joining me today on Sinister Minds. Remember to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Stay vigilant and never forget, evil wears many faces. Until next time, keep your minds sharp and your curiosity